My basic fun reveal concerns Star Wars, an hour later. Big guns have finally shipped, and today, it's my birthday. Welcome, everybody, back to the channel. This week, it's episode 199. That means the next week is going to be episode 200. Really excited to have the 200th episode and to share that with you. It's going to be a long episode. Going to have a bunch of guests. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be fantastic. But that's next week. Tonight is also going to be fantastic. Pretty sure. I'm 100% sure that I'm going to try my best to make it fantastic. Hopefully you're having an awesome Sunday, a football Sunday. My Cowboys actually won. The Giants took them all the way to overtime, and they almost it almost ended in a tie. It would have been horrible. I think they still do that. I don't know. They change the overtime rules every year, so I don't know what's going on, but they finally pulled out a win. Yes, so I can breathe easy there now. 1-1, 500. That's probably where they're going to end up at the end of the year. Maybe 8-9. Not exactly sure what's going to happen there, but being a Cowboys fan, it's always a roller coaster ride. I had a great week. I had a long week. I had a long week that involved me flying to Houston, spending some time in Temple, getting a job done, driving all the way back to Little Rock, Arkansas to do a job there, and then continuing to drive home, getting home Saturday night, last night at around 9:30. It was a long week. Long week. Picked up some stuff while I was in Texas because, listen, if you're driving back, you got to bring some stuff home, some mementos, and I picked up some Lone Star beer. Got a 12-pack of the I guess this is the regular and then the unleaded. This is the regular beer, and then the light beer. Got two 12-packs or a case of that. So I have that here. That will be sampled from time to time. You don't want to drink too much of that stuff because it's a lot of Texas in one bottle. Speaking of Texas in a bottle, I got another bottle to share with you. This one, it's going to be kind of funky. This is what's in my glass tonight, guys. It's made by Blackland, and this is Texas Pecan Brown Sugar Bourbon. Right. Yeah. So this is bourbon whiskey with brown sugar and pecans. It's only 35% alcohol, made in Fort Worth, and it's worth a shot. It looks like coffee. It looks like coffee. Let's see if it's thick like coffee. It's been diluting or the ice has been melting for about 5 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. Cheers, everybody. On another great week in the record books. Yeah. I'm just stalling because I don't want to drink this. Oh my God. So it's not bad. It's actually but it is what it sounds like. It's like bourbon and somebody put brown sugar and pecans in. If that's what you like, if that's what you love, then head on down to your local liquor store and see if they've got it. I have no idea. Okay, so we talked about what's in the glass. Let's talk about something else, and that's the poll question. Every single week, we have a question in the chat. This week is no different. Episode 199 is going to continue on with the tradition of questions to be asked from me to you. You get a chance to vote. Simple question tonight. It's going to be you're going to have two choices, and here it is. The question is simply this. Do you want the basic fun ultra cabinet, or are you waiting for the Supreme? Simple questions. If you don't know exactly what we're talking about, we're going to cover this tonight. We're going to give you an idea. You're going to pretty much know everything there is to know about the Ultra, but the Supreme, a little bit of a mystery. So I threw it out there, and I also wanted to give you a price so you could consider this option. Having no real price is kind of scary. So your two options are basically this. I want the Ultra for $500. Or you're waiting for the Supreme at $600. That's kind of the best that I can guess as far as the prices. So let me know what you think in the poll question. Vote, vote, vote. Let your voice be heard. 38 votes, and it's going about how I thought. pretty much about how I thought. Okay, everybody. Like I said, I hope your team won. I hope you're happy. If not, come drown your sorrows over here with 19K Fox on this week's show. And I wish I could talk to every single one of you and read every single one of your comments, but I can't do that. Can't do it. Show must go on. But we can talk to the first 10, the top 10, perhaps. The first 10 comments. Who rang in quick? Who got in early? Who's going to take the number one spot? I got to tell you, we have a new champion. A new champion making her way up the ranks. And it is A2D2. What is going on, girl? Thank you so much for being here and continuing to support the channel. Becoming a member, you have been plugged in for ever since. And so I appreciate it. Thank you so much, A2D2. Always great to see your smiling avatar. Yeah, in the chat. CP Fluid is coming in. Have you been number 2? Because, I mean, you're number 1 in my book. But tonight you're number 2. But I want to, have you ever got to number 2? I guess not, because you said ahoy. Oh, I have a good one. That's all you got. That's all you got. Ahoy there. Come on, you're in the second spot, bro. I need more. Bring it next time. Bring it. Number 2, bro. So close. But yes, I'm glad you're here, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. And even though that's all you got, I'm glad you brought that, which is good. Coming in number 3 spot is Moeller, the medic. What's going on, buddy? Hey, hello, everyone. Road Blasters. Oh, no. Having problems. Need to replace another chip, but getting closer to finished. Man, that's difficult. That's tough. I'm glad you're working hard. You're tackling the problems. You are keeping this piece of arcade history alive. And we got to have as many Road Blasters out in arcades, living, breathing, playing, as long as we still can, buddy. Unless somebody makes a really good recreation. Thank you so much for being here. As always, Moeller Medic. Come here. Sorry, I can't speak tonight. Probably because of the pecans and the brown sugar in my mouth. Coming in number 4 spot is Sir Sega. Yo, Fox. Happy Sunday, big shooter. What's going on, brother? Good to see you as always. The B Me is coming in the number 5 spot. Sunday, the drink is yours. That's right. Thanks so much for being here, buddy. Really do appreciate you. Richard Clemens is coming in the coveted number 6 spot. All the spots are coveted. But I'm going to say that tonight, number 6 is coveted. Happy Sunday, all. Looking forward to hearing the update on the Basic Fun WrestleFest cab. Interesting things going on in the old home arcade space. Coming in the number 7 spot is Show Gecko. Hello, folks. Cannot wait for the Vikings game. Coming off that great comeback from the Bears, Fox, make it a good one. I'll do my dead level best. Nova Sonic is taking the number 8 spot. Good to see you, buddy. Always nice to see you crack the top 10. Hey, Fox, happy birthday. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I hope you did something fun. I did something fun. I hung out at the house. I had to take the rental car back from the trip. So I took that back, woke up, had a great breakfast, watched some football. I played Metal Gear Solid Delta for like 4 hours. Had a great supper, hung out with my wife, watered the lawn. I just didn't mow the grass. Not on this day. Not on this day. Not today. We're not going to let that happen. So hope you did something fun. Next year is the big one. He's talking about next year because this year I turned 49. I'm 49 this year. So I have one more year of my 40s, and then it's all downhill. Then my body will just spontaneously combust, and you'll weep. You'll remember the man that I was. Probably not going to happen. I'm probably just going to have a little bit more back pain. I hope you were extra careful lifting that heavy box at your advanced age. Thank you so much. You're making me feel even worse than I already do. Coming in the number 9 spot is Angelo P. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you. Good evening, Fox and Chad. Happy birthday, my friend. Thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes. And thank you, Kevin V. Clausen, for the gift of 19K Fox membership. Every single bit helps. Really do appreciate it. And then coming in the last spot, the number 10 spot. The number 10 spot is Joe Husowski. There's too many syllables in that. Joe says, happy birthday, Fox. Joe, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, even though I intentionally butchered your name. We got a lot of other people here, guys. We got Frank D. We got Jason S. We got Israel Gaming. We got David Dimming. Mr. Clutch is coming in clutch as always. Dan Z is in the house. J. Wish I was a rock star. Me too, buddy. Good to see you, man, as always. And you do have a question. I'll go ahead and read it. Why not? It's my birthday. Which one are you excited about to come out? Iconic Arcade or the Alice in Wonderland Pinball? I have both pre-ordered, and I'm very excited for both. Probably the Iconic, even though I'm not thrilled with that one yet because we haven't seen a lot of information. I am more of an arcade guy than a pinball guy. A V-Pin works fine for me, as long as I can actually log in to my virtual pinball machine and play the games that I download. But that is another another topic for sure. Calvin Wong is also here. Milkman Classic is in the house. David G, great to see you as always, buddy. Really do appreciate you being here. Mike Hawkhurts is here. John on the Fritz. Perhaps I won't be on the Fritz this week. Knock on wood. We'll see. J Rod, Miss G, Tammy G, thank you so much for being here as always. Gramps Arcade is in the house. Thank you so much for being here, Gramps. We got AZ Arcade, Arizona Arcade, I'm assuming. Thank you so much for being here as always. Jason SB Kerr B is in the house. Thanks, man. Always good seeing you. We got the real Zim, not to be confused with the fake Zim. We got Stock Jock. We got Bob is in the house. Glad to see you, man. I guess your team has already played, and so you stopping by. Check out the Fox. Good to see you, man. As always, Dr. Jeffrey W. is also here. Michael B., the Game Genie, is also here, claiming to be a genie. What the hell is this? It's only 6. I'm used to watching you at 9:30. What are you talking about? What is wrong with you? We also got Galaxy Guy 88 is up in the house. Yes. Thank you very much. MSU Rich is also here. Dane Bramage. Thanks, man. Howdy from God's country. Jason Lillian, Modern Like a Mofo. Thank you so much for being here. Souls for Sale. John J. I think we have said hi to most, if not all of you. MSU Rich, thank you so much for being here. Marine Fitty is also in the house. And Calvin Wong, a whiskey pie. Kinda. It's not a liqueur, but it's close. Yeah, it's fine, but probably not my favorite. I think it's pretty much every Video Game Vegas. Thank you so much for being here. J Rod, what's up? The JW Midlife Arcade. Vic Vicious 75 is up in the house. John E. Blaze, and I think that's all. Tim York, Dr. Torque. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. Kings of Cobra. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Hayden Dew, how are you? Good to see you as always, buddy. Really do appreciate it. Also, I really appreciate super chats like this one. Molometic, $5. Thank you so much for your super chat. Now, for those of you who don't know, every single week we also do this little thing called Second Pour. It's something you can unlock if we have 10 super chats of any denomination. 99 cents, doesn't matter. 10 super chats, and we've got 5 right now. 10 super chats, and you unlock Second Pour. We extend the show by half an hour, and it's just Q&A. We talk about whatever you want to talk about. You run the show in Second Pour. Happy birthday, Fox. Cheers. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate it. It's nice and all, but you know where you got to go. It's a one-stop shop. The Pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
We also got another super chat from Bob for $4.99. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Always a pleasure to have you here in the chat. And I got to give you something special. Here you go.
Let's go. Wolverine win. Rookie.
Jason is also dropping some love with a $20 super chat. Bro, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the birthday present. Happy birthday, brother. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate you in the chat, modding, doing everything you can. Now, how about me and you? Let's go kill the queen. We also got Kevin Clausen with a $5 super chat, brother. Thank you so much, man. I have uncovered the corruption. Fox will claim it's his birthday to get more super chats. I won't be fooled and will only super chat the normal amount. Thank you for your $5 super chat. And, in whatever denomination you see fit. And of course, not to be outdone, not to give some normal super chat. We got Stringer Films for $2 saying, "Happy Dak Attack birthday. Here's your $2." I appreciate those $2 a lot. I mean, I really do.
Finish him. Red wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for the super chat love. I appreciate it. Remember, vote on the poll. Let me know what you think. I really want to know what you want to think, what you think, what you're leaning towards, what you want to buy. If you don't know exactly which one, wait till the end of the show, and then just or after we talk about it, and then just chime in later. That works too. That works too. So vote, sit down, sit back, have a drink. Let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. Oh, Star Wars fans. Being a Star Wars fan, it's like some weird blessing and curse, because when they were purchased by Disney, we got inundated with a whole bunch of stuff that had, a Star Wars logo slapped on it. And so you had plenty of stuff to buy, which was good until it wasn't, until it was kind of bad. Until Disney started making their own movies. Who the hell gave them that idea? Not good. Some people liked it. Some people like me did not like it at all. And so it was kind of sad. So every time that Star Wars is sort of branded or that branding is slapped on an object or an item to be purchased, it's not always a guaranteed hit like it used to be back in the day. That has changed, at least in the home arcade market. So for whatever reason, for the most part, with very few small exceptions, Star Wars branding slapped onto some sort of home arcade thing has actually been pretty good. And Stern has actually kept that train going. This week, we're going to talk about this briefly because of some of the information on this slide. So Stern announced this week, they sent me an invite with several other YouTubers and content creators. I was not able to get up to Chicago to check this out because it was on a Wednesday. So it's cool, and I know they do that so that you can actually go on the tour. And the factory is running on Wednesdays, or throughout the week. So bring them all in and have them check it out, and that's cool. But man, it's really easier to get up there if it's on like a weekend. So a Saturday, or maybe if it's on like a Friday, I could take the Friday off, and get up there. It's a 5-hour drive, so it's not horrible, but still, you need to be able to plan for these things. If it's right in the middle of the week, it's kind of tough to take that one day off. Get up there, I guess, the night before, be there for the day, and then try to drive back. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I kind of wish I would have made the effort because what they revealed was not Star Wars Disney's, version, Star Wars-ish. This was Star Wars proper. Star Wars Fall of the Empire is basically the way they're sort of separating the original trilogy from everything else. This is the story of the Fall of the Empire. It's the original story. And if you like the original Star Wars characters, you're in luck. That's what this is about. Framed around these movies, a brand new play field, a brand new game. It's not a re-release. It's not what you've seen in Costco. This is something different. This is something, in some ways, better. Everything I'm hearing from some of the really good people in this space, like Console Kids, who actually went up there, got to check it out. Cool Toy also went up there and checked it out. A couple guys that really do great reviews. I kind of, I go to those guys. I can't really watch everybody. There's a lot of people that maybe have bigger channels and been doing it for longer, but those two guys I trust. I've met them both personally. I like them. So their opinions really matter. B-Kong just dropped a video on his channel. Check it out if you want to get his impression. I don't believe he went there, but he has some thoughts. Very knowledgeable about pinball. I'm not. I'm simple. I'm a simple man. Just ask my wife. I'm very simple. When it comes to pinball, I want it to be not easy, but I want it to be fun. And so if it's super challenging and it's very complicated and it's got a lot of hard shots, I'm just going to lose interest really quick. So it's nice to know that this table is actually very much like Attack from Mars, which, for those you don't know, it's like a classic table that is also pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to play, but still keeps your focus. It keeps me entertained. I love Attack from Mars. Having a very limited knowledge, I understand, of pinball, I love Attack from Mars. So this has been compared to that by Console Kits, and that is really encouraging for just easy access. Just like this is super accessible to people that maybe are not pros, but just want to walk up to a machine and have some fun. But will it be challenging enough to keep you interested? I guess that's definitely the big question. Spike 3 is the platform they're using now. Basically, it's a bigger DMD. It's that screen that has all the call outs and all the videos that are actually playing from the movies themselves, which is really cool. So that's good. Artwork looks great, but if you look at the bottom of the slide, this has always been the thing that's just, prevented me from bringing one of these things home because I don't have a super incredible love for pinball. I'm not going to be able to fork over a bunch of money with any sort of conscience. And this is what it all boils down to. There's a cheaper version of this. It's like 7,000, I think. But if you want the premium or the LE, the limited edition, you're looking at $9,500, brand new, obviously, and then 13,000 for the limited, which is still available. I think Game Room Guys still has some limiteds available at $13,000 if you got to have it. This has probably been the first brand new machine, that has probably tempted me the most because it is Star Wars that I love. It is just the original trilogy. It claims, from what I understand, from what I've heard, from the recommendations and everything, that it is a smooth, easy playing center fire or center target type of table. I just can't get there, guys. I can't get there. I cannot get there at those prices, especially when you consider that I have a battle pod right there that I paid $5,500 for. Not cheap. I'm not trying to say that's easy money and cheap. I know it's very expensive, but that's a lot of machine for half the price. So I just can't get there. But if you're looking for Star Wars in its most purest form, I guess, with the exception of this new name, Fall of the Empire, this is really, really traditional, really classic. So I think that this is awesome, but this is also a super expensive item, super expensive version for you to get out there. If you want Star Wars new home arcade, this is definitely an option if you got big money. Maybe not the biggest of money, but a really good example of Star Wars as well, original trilogy. Here is another example. So Arcade 1-Up came out with this. This is just my biggest regret, was getting rid of this cabinet. I'm always on Facebook Marketplace, always looking around. When I was down in Texas, Tomball, Texas, this was near Houston area, I believe. You can find one now for $500. So here is the Facebook Marketplace ad. You can see the guy's name is Ivan Lopez. If you're interested, if you're in the Houston area, this thing looks to be pretty good. All functional, all original, $500. Now you can see it's marked down from $750. We're talking about current Star Wars purchases you can make now. You got Stern over here far on the left hand. You got that ranging anywhere from like the $4,500 home version of the old Star Wars table all the way up to the $13,000 new table. And then you can find some of these arcade 1-Ups out there. Now, $500 is a really good deal if you consider what these things are out there listed for. I'm not sure what they're actually selling for, and this is a good indicator that maybe $500 is where you want to be when you're looking for something like this. But this is an example of what you can still get out there, and I think it's a good example of original trilogy Star Wars home arcade. This is an example because you just can't find these things anymore. New. I've seen these things all over the place in pretty much the same shape as that for like $1,800. People are asking thousands of dollars. I don't think they sell for that, but you're not going to be able to pick these things up for $200 or $300 unless they're like in bad shape and you want to kind of fix them up. But if you're looking for a good example of one of these cabinets, you're going to spend about $500. So that's pretty much your options as far as, new, or not new, but just current Star Wars products that are out there, whether they're used or brand new. It's kind of rough for now. We're going to talk about basic fun in a minute. Australia seems to be the place where we're getting a lot of this information. I reached out to some of my buddies over in Australia, like Big Reese, who just dropped 10 Australian dollars. Grab yourself a birthday schooner on me, mate. Always a great time to see you in the chat. Always a good time talking to you. I miss you on YouTube. I miss your videos, buddy. But I appreciate you so much. And I absolutely take a sip for you, buddy. Australian dollars a little bit crazy, a little bit saucy, a little bit dangerous, but they spend all the same. Thanks, man. I know David G was asking for super chat. What do I call those? Clips? Yeah, super chat clips. When I get a super chat, I play a little game clip. I had a request from David G for Star Trek and Star Wars. I got 2. I didn't load them up tonight, but they are coming, and I'm going to break them out on the 200th episode. But back to Australia, back to some of the source of some of this basic fun news. I'm sure we're going to eventually get this stuff in the States. We're going to talk about the next WrestleFest cab in just a minute. But as I reach out to these people and talk, what I've heard from Australia, from a distributor that supplies the arcades to the different people. This was through Big Reese. He's my source. He's my super secret source. He's hearing and telling me, so I'm telling you, next month, Star Wars should be available or coming to the country. So next month, Basic Fun will be introducing Star Wars. What will that look like? What will the price be? Will this be Ultra? Will this be Supreme? Not exactly sure. But with all this stuff sort of ramping up, it lends a little more credence to, hey, listen, maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe next month, October, we can expect to see something on Star Wars. And we'll get another chance to buy something, hopefully in time for the holiday season. Maybe. I'm assuming that's why we're starting to hear this stuff in the middle of September. It makes a ton of sense. Hopefully they can get these cabinets over here quickly, very quickly. So while we're going to talk about WrestleFest in just a second. Star Wars appears to be coming sooner rather than later from Basic Fun, and that's really awesome. Exciting for another opportunity to maybe, hopefully, knock on wood, have some original trilogy stuff, because there's not a lot. There's a few rumors out there. I think John D has been quoted as saying he's heard that it's actually Return of the Jedi that's coming out. Is that going to be just that game, all 3 of these games, but in a Return of the Jedi sort of shaped cabinet with that different shape? Possibly. Maybe it's just a game. We don't really know. But that's what I'm hearing. Next month, we could get some new Star Wars arcade goodness at a price that is less than $4,500 for the pinball machine. So I think if you're jonesing for some Star Wars love in your arcade and you've seen some stuff like this, maybe 500 isn't what you've been able to find. Maybe you're looking for, you're kind of striking out and you're stuck with $800 asking prices, and the guy knows what he has and he's not going to cut down off that. If you're not, perhaps, maybe, just maybe, the Force will all be with us next month. And that is something I cannot wait to talk about. I don't know if this is growing on me or if I'm just losing my taste buds. I'm not exactly sure. Will second pour be this drink? Well, we get 4 more super chats. You're going to find out tonight. Moving on to Basic Fun. A lot of people have been showing off these videos, or not these videos, but these images and pictures. There is a video up. I'm going to tell you how you can find all this stuff and look at it for yourself. But we're going to discuss it. I have some concerns. We're going to talk about this, starting with the source of all this, which is Australia. Once again, our brothers from down under are talking about it, and they're actually have the ability to order it. Not pre-order, but actually order. I'm interested at what I see, but I do have some concerns. So let's start with this listing here. Pictures leaked, and all of a sudden the listing leaked, and here is the listings. Let's check it out. If you go on over to arcadegamer.com.au, this is an Australian website. I think I'll link this in the description when all this is done. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. I apologize. I won't do it anymore. I got Michael B, the Game Genie, causing all kind of trouble because he's Canadian. That's just what he does. No, I'm just kidding. So here's a listing. Basic Fun WE Ultra Series 2-player arcade machine. And looks like a standard listing. The price is a little bit weird, but I'm gonna give you some points of reference. We're gonna talk about this later on to kind of give you an idea of what you can expect to pay, because that's Australian dollars, and they are, like I said before, they're aggressive. A bit of a mystery. Let's take a closer look at the cabinet itself. Here's basically what you got. You're gonna have 5 games included on this. How do you feel about the 5 games? Let me know in the chat right now. 5 games, is it enough? Is it not enough? We don't know. I'm interested. I think that the number of games is fine for the control scheme that you have. 3-button, fighter. It's a wrestling game, and it's going to be limited on some things you can do. You get a pretty good variation. You have 2 wrestling games. Obviously, you have dodgeball. You got 3 wrestling games, 4 or 5, whatever. it's a pretty good, it's a decent mix. I want this to be wrestle heavy, wrestle centric, if that's even a term, but we're going to go with it. And here's a look at the cab. And you can see right away a lot of hallmarks, a lot of different things that you can compare to Arcade 1-Up, which is going to be the direct comparison. And I think that comparison is 100% fair. Size, dimensions, overall weight, shape, all that stuff is going to be very, very similar to Arcade 1-Up. And it makes sense. It's a fair comparison. It's the right call. Just like a $20 super chat from B Kirby. Thank you so much for your $20 super chat. Happy birthday, Fox. Happy birthday is appreciated. When you get to my advanced age, you're just happy that you made it. Another rotation, another trip around the sun. So you got the games, you got the overall look, you got the overall shape. This is looking good. But like I said, there are some concerns. I think nothing is really out of the ordinary from what we originally thought, what we originally saw about this cabinet. But as we begin to get hard evidence, like not just leaked images and leaked pictures, we get to see some detail. It's worth pointing out exactly what they're going to be bringing to market, because there's some things that now that we've gone through this, right? We've been through this before. We understand what to look for and what to make of certain things. Like I always love to look for a $5 super chat from Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat, brother. Happy birthday, my brother. Wishing you the best. Cheers. Thank you so much, man, for your good birthday wishes. And here you go. Oh my God. so let's take a look at this. Okay, so right off the bat, let's start with the control panel, because this is interesting, guys. Taking a look at the on-off and power, the on-off switch and the volume rocker. Okay, there's some things you got to really think about. Like, that was kind of an odd button look when we saw these on the Arcade 1-Ups, right? You know, they worked, they were fine, but that was fairly unique. Guys, these are exactly the same switches. So you can see that the on-off button or switch, it's two position. I don't know if that's momentary or maintained, but it is on-off. And then you get the volume rocker. Now the switch is in the middle, so it's going to be momentary, left and right, so up or down. Very, very similar, almost exactly the same thing that we saw with Arcade 1-Up. The buttons, who knows? I don't know. This, I think this is a render. I don't know if this is exactly, this maybe, probably, let's assume that this is the actual cabinet. Difficult to know, but I'm thinking those buttons and sticks are probably the same stuff we saw with Arcade 1-Up. One thing we don't see that we did see with Arcade 1-Up on those first, second, third, fourth generation cabinets, everything up until, the most recent deluxes was a deck protector. Now, remember, this was a big deal in the very beginning. We didn't see deck protectors, and we saw artwork being smudged and smashed and nasty, and it was bad. It was horrible. It was wrong. The only thing that made it right was not a deck protector, but it was a $5 super chat from B Kirby. Who knew? That is actually what fixed everything. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. But when you get to my age, you get to check the box 50/65. Oh yeah, when they're asking you for the demographical numbers, right? That's what you got to check. Well, I'll be there soon, brother. One last year in my 40s. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel constantly, and your super chats are very appreciated, brother. And I got to give you something. You pick something different. Not this one. Here you go.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I am mad, yes, about this. I mean, because there is some, not this one. This one, there is some fatigue, for sure. And this one I also agree with too. Yeah, Evil Twin. There's no deck protector. Now, like I said, in the very beginning of the first generation, we didn't have deck protectors, and we had artwork that would smudge and rub off, and that was horrible. So what did they do? They added the deck protector. And then eventually with the deluxe cabinets, we saw them move away from that because they had basically, I think they just moved to a heavy vinyl or some kind of a print that was different than paint, and it doesn't really rub off. At least we haven't seen it on the massive scale that we saw with the very first of the first generation. So we don't have a deck protector. So does that mean that they've adopted just it's a thick, heavy vinyl, which is possible? That's what I use on all my modifications. I'll reprint something in a thick control panel vinyl. Now this stuff is thick. This stuff has polycarbonate built into it, so it'll take a beating, takes a licking, and keeps on ticking. Is that what they've done? Is that what they've done? Or is this what they've done? Super chats. Is this what they're doing? They're doing super chats now? And I'm taking them. Kevin Clausen for $2. Again, another one. And with this one, you have unlocked second pour. So I'm going to take another drink of this stuff. Let's hope I live. Or maybe I'll drink a beer. No. We got to keep it bourbon. We got to stick with the bottle that brought us here. And unfortunately, this is it. Let's talk football during the second pour. Bears suck. I'm open for anything. Thank you so much for Super Chat, brother. And here you go. Finish. We also scroll down here. We also got another super chat. This one from Vic Vicious 75. Thank you so much for $5, man. I really appreciate it. Why in the LOD, or why is LOD, Legion of Doom, and Sergeant Slaughter missing from Ultra? We're going to talk about that tonight with some specificity from Ultra, but they're on the countercade. Questions that maybe have no answers. Maybe one's a render. Maybe one's not even real. Who knows? Who knows? And Stock Jock is coming in with $10. Man, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Happy birthday. Stay in your 40s for as long as you can. It really does get worse. I mean, I plan to. From what I hear, they only give you like 10 years.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Whoopsie. Back to this. So we don't have a deck protector, so I don't know what that means. I'm hoping that means they're using a better vinyl graphic on top, and we're not going to have to worry about the paint. And I think with the, I know they're trying to keep costs down and all that, but I'm going to assume, I'm going to hope, let's just hope they're using a good thick vinyl, and that's not going to be an issue. But strange bedfellows do we see here? Very, very similar, damn near, as what was it, Sir Sega said, the evil cousin, evil twin of Arcade 1-Up. Also, another thing to think about as we're trying to compare different classes, different versions, deluxes and legacies and all that on the Arcade 1-Up side, Ultra and Supreme on the Basic Fun side. We just have holes drilled into the plywood for the speakers, something we haven't seen in a little while, actually. It's been a little bit since we've seen holes just drilled into wood. It's everything else has been a large hole with the speaker grills, kind of giving it a little bit better, a little bit more of a better feel, more premium. Well, maybe premium could be a bit too far. That may be a bridge too far. Every time people talk about Basic Fun, I get hungry for Supreme Pizza. Supreme Pizza is delicious as long as there's no anchovies. That's a bridge too far. So, yeah, so there's things to be concerned as far as what level are we talking about? Because when the price comes out, which we're going to talk about that in a second, when the price comes out, it gets a little funky, it gets a little weird when you try to consider, when you're trying to compare and contrast these two items. What quality are we going to get? What should we expect? I think we have, unfortunately, for better or for worse, Arcade 1-Up has been established. So that expectation has also been established. Couple things, other things to sort of mention that we've seen in this image. Now, obviously, the Supreme is off to the left. We don't have a lot of different information on the Supreme. Everything that we've heard has been confirmed. This is obviously a 4-player. This is obviously going to have the molded coin door, 19-inch monitor, maybe. I don't know. I tend to think it's going to be 17, but who knows? We'll see. They do have that tilted control panel, like we saw on the very last NBA Jam 4-player before it just got skinny and stupid. So that looks to be what we expect that to be. Supreme in every way, more players, probably more games, and a molded coin door. The countercade off to the right, well, that's something just a little bit different. Now, this is the image because this is also out there right now. You can check this out over on the website there. Our buddies over in Australia, check it out for sure. It is a countercade. It is a very familiar looking countercade. Now you're saying, but Fox, nobody has done the countercade except for RK1. Well, that's true. But when you compare this to the very last iterations of the countercade, like the Mortal Kombat, like the Street Fighter that we didn't get in this country, but they got it over in Europe, you can see the shape is damn near identical. It's almost exactly the same. The only real difference I can see is that the control panel is on top of the side panels. Other than that, it looks exactly the same. Look at the screw holes on the side. I mean, everything is exactly the same. So that means that we're not going to get some of the stuff we got in the two-player variants or the second generation. I think it's second generation, third generation. I don't know. The generations on the countercades are kind of weird. But when we got the lit marquees, when we got those deck protectors, when we got those headphone jacks and USB ports, none of that appears to be available on this. One thing I can't really tell is if there is a deck protector. Now, on the Mortal Kombat, there is. Even on the last iteration of the countercades, they had deck protectors. Don't see one on the WrestleFest. Also, I don't see a lit marquee at all. So, looks like that's just going to be wood, especially if you look to the left. Look at the Mortal Kombat. The screw is in the same spot. Now, I know this is a stupid detail, but if you're a nerd like me, you know this. The lit marquees on the countercades, the screw was actually on the bottom. So you had a screw on the bottom and a dowel on top. And when they went back to the wood, they have a dowel on the bottom and a screw on top. So they switch those. So that's exactly what you're going to have over here with the WrestleFest. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but it does, it does give you a pretty good indication of exactly what you're looking at. So if you want a lit marquee, it doesn't look like you're going to get it with this. If you want a deck protector, you're not going to get it with this. If you want the headphone jack, it doesn't appear to have that. Just doesn't look like that's going to be the case. What you're going to get is the cheapest version that had the best screen. And that's always been the saving grace with these countercades, is that they devolved as far as features, but they never devolved from that beautiful 8-inch screen. So if this is the same 8-inch LCD, I think this thing is going to be, it's going to look great. So as far as countercades go, I think this is exactly what we can expect. Not a bunch of features, just bare bones countercade. And the good thing about both this and what we see so far with the Ultra, it seems to fit seamlessly with your current collection. So if you've got a bunch of 3/4 scale cabinets, this is going to complement that. It's going to sort of fit in. It's not going to look really out of place, which if you have a collection, that's exactly what you want. If you're a 3/4 guy, you're going to be happy for sure. Or girl. If you're a 3/4 scale gal. Artwork has been an issue with, licensing, I guess, is probably going to be the main culprit. Everybody's talking about it. This is what they're talking about. So the artwork on the left is the basic fun artwork. And then the artwork on the right is a arcade side art recreation from Escape Pod. This is what they're talking about. You're looking at the Legion of Doom and Sergeant Slaughter not being on the side. That is the difference. That's what everybody's talking about. It's three characters on the side that are missing. And for some reason, they have a different image of Hulk Hogan. Not sure why. Some of the images you'll notice, the image on the bottom left, I can't remember the guy's name, and I can't see because, as we've discussed before, I'm old and I have old eyes. Got a dude in a headlock. They've zoomed in on him, I guess, to crop the guy out of the picture because maybe they could get license for that guy's head, whoever that guy is. All the other pictures look like they're in most the perspectives and all that are about the same. So that appears to be all correct. But yeah, notable mentions are going to be, notable things that are mentioned are going to be Legion of Doom and Sergeant Slaughter. So when they appear in the game, are they going to have Mr. Perfect? Thank you. Are we going to have the image, but then just have like a generic name, like random tag team number 12. I don't know. Sergeant Stu. I don't know. As a Sergeant not Slaughter. I mean, is it going to be a negative Slaughter? I don't know. Is it going to be, maybe he's less Slaughter? Maybe he's not really, maybe he got demoted. Maybe he's a Private Slaughter. I have no idea. I don't know what that means. You know, I guess it is what it is. Honestly, you have to ask yourself, and I'm not making excuses for anybody, but when it comes to these games, would you rather have most of it or none of it? Because that's what we find ourselves running into. And I'm not going to judge you either way. Some people are like, listen, if I can't have it exactly how it was in the arcade, I'm not interested. It's just weird. I get that. You know, a lot of people, they like Blitz because of some of the features that were missing. I have no problem with that. I understand that. I was able to sort of say, okay, this isn't exactly what it was back in the day, but I can deal with it. Can you deal with this? And I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time. If you're a big wrestling fan, I'm not really a big wrestling fan, but if you are, is this going to bother you? Excluding these characters for whatever reason, which we know is probably licensing, is that going to bother you? Is it going to tarnish the experience? You know, which is basically going to be an arcade one-up style or type of experience. I really want to know, because listen, authenticity really matters to a lot of people, especially, listen, if you're going to invoke the name of WrestleFest, we know you already got to drop the F. It's just going to be WW. It's going to be Wonder Woman's WrestleFest. It's not even they're not even going to put an E. It's just, it's kind of weird. But, or maybe it's Whataburger. I don't know. It's the Whataburger WrestleFest. I don't know. It's weird. What do you think? Let me know. I want to know what you think, because I know that if this has been your dream cab, you've been waiting for somebody to recreate it, and it's like, I've been waiting so long, and you guys were so close. Are you just demoralized? Or are you going to go for it anyway? Let's talk about pricing. What does the pricing mean? Australian dollars, they're a mystery that can't be solved. No one knows what they are. Actually, no, that's not true. You can convert this stuff. Let's look at the Australian dollars, and then I want to do comparisons of other products that they sell on the same website, so we can kind of get an idea of what these prices may be. Because if you just do a straight up conversion, 1,200 Australian dollars equals 798 US dollars. Now, I don't know about you, but wow, that sure seems expensive. I don't think that's what the price is going to be in the States. If it is, I don't think they're going to sell any of these. They're going to sell very few, because at $800, I think we'd all want a perfect arcade recreation. I don't think that's what it's going to be. That's why I bring up the points of comparison. So $800, I don't think that's what the U.S. price is going to be. They're charging $1,200 for this basic fun WWE Ultra. What else are they charging? What's the price that they're going to charge for arcade one-ups that are currently out there now? Okay, so you're looking at the newest Buck Hunter, right, is $200 more. Fast and Furious, the latest racer from Arcade One-Up, is also $200 more, 200 Australian dollars more. What about things that are the same price, Fox? I got those for you too. So Basic Fun, once again, they're in the middle with $1,195, $1,200. They're charging the same price for the Slim Katie. The Slim Katie is the same price. And then for $100 less is going to be the Mortal Kombat 2. So I think that's a little bit more useful than just a straight up conversion. $800 doesn't make any sense to me. This makes me think that we really are going to see a price point on the Ultra Series of $500. That's how much you can expect to pay for the 2-player Slim Katie. And that's about what you're going to expect to pay for the Mortal Kombat. You can find the Mortal Kombat for about $50 cheaper in some places. So it is what it is. I think that's what we can reasonably expect to pay. That just makes the most sense to me. So $500. So that's why I put that in the poll question, which you still have an opportunity to jump up and answer the poll question right now. Knowing what you know, seeing what we've seen, what do you feel is going to be your purchase? Is it going to be this guy for $500? Is this going to be the way you go? Or are you going to say, nah, I want to wait and see what's over there on the left. I want to see that guy. I want to see what that is. I want to see what the 4-player is. It's got the molded coin door. I like 4 players. Even if I don't even use 4 players, I still like 4 players. I want to know if it's got more games. I want to wait and jump on that bandwagon if it's only $100 more? That is the question I'm asking you in the chat right now. Jump in there and answer the poll question. Knowing what we know today, what are you more likely to do? Because I can see this fitting in really well with a lot of people's cabinets and collections, but you are going to see some things that may irk you. And it's definitely going to be the missing coin door, because that's something we kind of fought for a long time, and all the weird artwork on the front. A lot of people don't like that. I know Michael B doesn't like that because he's kind of an arcade purist. If you're looking for a cool little recreation, I would want to black that out and put a coin door on there. And you can do that reasonably, but that's not going to be cheap. And you may end up spending more than $100 by the time you get some black paint or some black vinyl to cover that up, and then go find yourself a nice molded coin door to slap in there. It could be maybe cost prohibitive. The lack of a deck protector is something that really bothers me, because I just don't know what we're dealing with here. If we have, even if it's not the crap, the absolute turd, the paint that was on the first generation arcade 1-ups, if it's just a thin vinyl, that's going to wear quick too. And then look at this thing with the 3-button configuration. It's not like you can just slap one together pretty quick. And I don't know that we're going to have the third-party support for the basic fun that we had with the arcade 1-ups. There was a great company. I bought one of it was a replacement deck protector for my Turtles cab. I still have it. I'm pointing off screen because it's right there. It was thicker. It was precision drilled and all that, and it fit great. And I love it. I don't think we're going to have an option for this year. So that is a cause for concern for sure. I can't wait. Hopefully, Big Reese, if you're still watching, maybe you can pick one of these things up if that price is reasonable, and maybe put a review video out there. Let us all know, because it looks like the Aussies are going to be the first ones to get an opportunity to get this thing. Now, today's Sunday. Who knows? Who knows what could happen Monday? Maybe we're going to find out about the Supreme sooner rather than later. But that's what I got, guys. If you want to know more about this, arcadegamer.com.au is the Australian website you can go to and check this out. You can also check out more information on the countercade that is exactly like the last generation countercades from Arcade 1-Up. Spitting freaking image, damn near nuts, bolts, carbon copy. Yeah. So the question remains, are you excited about this? Do you want to go for the Ultra? Do you want to wait for the Supreme? In any way, shape, or form, no matter how you skin it, I just like that we finally have some options. Last thing I want to bring you up to speed on, and I'll mention it real quick. I posted a picture, did a community post. I got a big buck hunter. I didn't buy that. That was actually a gift, and it wasn't for my birthday. It was from a viewer. And if you want to know who that viewer was, you're going to have to wait till we are doing the after show. And the only way you can be on the after show and see some of this behind the scenes information, know it all, is if you become a member. Become a member now. Hit the join button, $5 a month, and you can become a member, and you can hang out with me. After shows are pretty cool. We get a little nuts. We get a little crazy. I do some content just for the members, and one of those things is going to be an interview with the person that sent me that item. Kind of cool. Very generous for sure. But there's something else that is not a gift, something I paid for, and it is shipping. It's shipping, and I'm very, very excited. Let's go ahead and bring that up real quick. Where's that at? Scroll up here. Here we go. It ships. So I've been talking about this for a little while. It has been cooking down there in Florida, and it's finally out of the oven, and it's done. That is my analogy for the gun cabinet that I have coming. Really excited about this. This is a multicade. This is a shooting gun multicade. It's not a light gun in the traditional sense. It's not a light gun in the send-in light gun sense. This is the ones that are mounted on top of the actual cabinet. Now, Big Gun Arcade is a company that is bringing this to life. And how can I remove that? There you go. They're the ones that are bringing this to life. Small company, small startup with a ton of passion and excitement and a unique perspective. They build a pretty good product. I'm excited. It's all built in the USA. He put a video up on his channel showing the finished product, and of course, he's got my branding on there. And this is not something that he currently has available on his website, this form factor, but it will be available soon. This is going to be his bar top deluxe, a variation of his bar top unit that just sits on a bar, sits on a table. This is it. So obviously it's going to have some Aerosmith Revolution X styling. I think that I love the way this thing turned. Freaking love this thing. It did ship this week. I think it shipped Friday. So I'm really excited about that. From Fastenal, coming to a Fastenal near me this week, and then I'll be able to pick this thing up and bring it in. And there you go. Yellow T molding, popping like crazy. All the artwork is sort of custom, with the exception of the control panel overlay, which is just a stock overlay that he just got from somebody else. Showing off a little bit of the gameplay. You can see the counters in there. It just tells you your credits on the back of each gun. That is an LCD display right there. It's gonna bring up. It's gonna act kind of as a marquee for the game that you're playing, but it's also a screen you can actually play on. It's not really designed for that, but it's an option you can have. So that's a nice little touch. It's basically a little PC in size, so that is your little monitor. You can make that kind of display whatever you want to display. But you can see some of my favorite games playing on this bad boy. Obviously, Revolution X, NY Gunblade. He even did some LA machine guns for me, and I am very excited to add that into the arcade. I've talked about this for a while because of the limitations of the new arcade as far as floor space. It's tight. It's very, very tight. Licensed? No. I mean, yes, of course. That's a silly question. So because of the limited floor space, I decided I wanted to have a few multicades for specific types of games. I got the Silver Strike Bowling that could be swapped out with a Golden Tee, or maybe eventually someday get the one that's got the pedestal that has everything in one. That would be awesome. So it's basically a TV mounted on the wall and then an HDMI cable. This is sort of the same thing, a pedestal with these two guns mounted. And then I'm going to have a 50-inch TV mounted on the wall, actually mounted on a stand, and this thing next to it. I'm going to do a custom marquee for up top. I'm going to do some custom some labels and whatnot. Let me check this. Okay. Message from my son saying he's headed out. I think today he's going to the gym. Today's leg day, I think. Just hope he doesn't kick my ass. Kids are getting big. All my kids are huge, massive. My son is a corporal in the Army. My oldest son, he's a corporal in the Army, going for his expert service badge, expert soldier badge. Sorry. So he's a man, just a monster, a big mountain of a man. And then my second son is also 6'4". He's in the Navy, headed home, going to be home next month. Well, I think he's going to be stateside next month. He's been all over the world. Can't wait to hear those stories. That's awesome. And I can't wait to get this missing piece of the puzzle. This shooter cab is something I've been dying to have. And I'm so glad I get it. I'm going to be showing this thing off in excruciating detail so that if you are maybe interested in picking this thing up, you're going to know where to go and you're going to get a good chance to see the quality thereof. Because, of course, that is what really matters. Some of these things just, you never really know. You never know with some of these companies out there, what they're going to build and what you can actually get and how's it going to be shipped. That's why I wanted to kind of show off that image of everything wrapped up and strapped down. The guy takes it very seriously. This is not his full-time job. He's got a regular job, but he has a small crew that puts these things together. They have like a season, and we have sort of ended the season, or he's ended the season as far as taking orders. I think he's still taking orders, but production is sort of wrapped for this season. He kind of finished it up with mine, but he's going to continue on. If you want to see more stuff like this form factor, then go over to the video, and it's biggunarcades.com. I'll put a link to that in the description of the video, so you can come back, you can click on that, check it out, and in the comment section, give him your feedback. Let him know what you think. Do you like this? Not like it? Whatever. I think it looks really cool. Of course, I'm biased because this is what we kind of worked on and put together. Because I'm excited. I'm very excited for my the arcade to get some more arcade love. Shooter love is awesome. Very awesome. I'm excited because now that this glass is empty, we get to fill it up again, because that's right, you've unlocked second pour.
What does a cowboy, comedian, surfer, singer, writer, showbiz gopher, and sheriff have in common? Nothing. But right now in LA, these 7 people are living together and bearing it all for the camera crew of MTV's Real World 2. Watch it Thursdays at 10 and find out what gets exposed. Plug into a brand new world.
MTV's Beavis and Butthead is brought to you by Barks, the one with bite. cool.
Yeah. Now this is what death rock is all about.
Yeah. Drums, guitars, and death. They finally got it right.
Yeah.
They've been given the choice. They're making the change. 1-800-COLLECT.
Carrie Jacobson's a milk drinker. Once I saw her, I had to meet her. She says milk helps with shiny hair and beautiful skin. She's right, she's gorgeous. She gets a lot of attention. For me, she gets total attention. Milk does a body good.
What did I tell you, Principal Skinner?
Mrs. Scribumple, it's time we cut off Simpson's Butterfinger supply.
Oh.
It's showtime!
Get a crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery burst in every bite of Butterfinger.
Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
Welcome back, everybody. I want you to see this. Welcome to Second Pour, by the way. Thank you so much for the generosity, the super chats, and now I'm going to go ahead and have another drink on you. That's the way this goes. But before I just want to show you. This does not look like bourbon because it's bourbon with, some additives. Check this out. My God, it's this. Oh, yeah. Like I said, it looks like coffee. I'm going to put you there for a second. Okay, so let's start talking. I want to hear what you have to say. You heard about what me and myself was saying and whatnot. We got P-Dubs in the house. What's going on, buddy? Always great to see you, man. Agreed, Vic. Nobody has asked Basic Fun. They're only asked Basic Fun's, which is always funny that we're not hearing. We're quoting stuff that people are saying from the competitors of Basic Fun or people that kind of like it's all secondhand stuff. We're not hearing directly from Basic Fun. Now, I like to take my sources from things that are publicly available, like this listing over there in Australia, arcadegamer.com, because it's concrete, because it's something that's not, being told through a filter or something, and we can actually talk about it. It is kind of weird, isn't it, that we're not hearing directly from Basic Fun, but maybe they're just, I don't know, not concerned with, with talking with YouTubers, which is not a bad thing. I heard on Serious Radio the MTV was going back to classic MTV here. So, man, I really freaking hope so. That'd be awesome. These retro ads are a nice touch. And they go, maybe you should add classic ads like this for Super Chat. I could do that. I could break this up and just have small commercial, but I try to keep them 10 seconds is the maximum, or else it's just too long. So we'll see. Maybe 10 seconds. Contra would be a one-player game if Basic Fun made it. And yeah, there's some stuff you could put on that cab. They could just do, so we've talked about this before, like a Cowabunga collection. They had the Contra collection a while back. You could put that into a cab, I guess, but I don't know who would buy that. I mean, at the end of the day, like what? Just throw a switch in a cab and call it a day. I would not assume that. WWE has rights to all the wrestlers in the original game. So I don't know. Could be a limited time deal, and they didn't want to deal with the headache. They're a toy company. For them, it's not that deep. Not really. And somebody made the comment that on the side of the countercade, you have all the wrestlers, and you got the 9 up there. Plus, is that the, you got the Legion of Doom, and where's Sergeant? Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's right there. So, riddle me this, Batman. Why is it on the side of the countercade, but not on the side of, is there like 2 different versions of WrestleFest? Why is it not on the Ultra? Is this just an old render? I don't know. This was the video that they show. Well, this is the latest images. And you can see, even if you squint, you can kind of see that there's not, well, hold on, wait. Yep, that's only 9. You only got the 9 people there. So there's not 3 rows of 4 there. So this is current. I don't know. It's kind of a weird deal, man. Weird deal. I thought I went back into, I love those old commercials, man. I love it. The Deuce. My head hurts. Is it? Yeah, it's rough, fellas. It's rough. Have you ever tried lean? What do you mean lean? I haven't heard back yet, but it's the weekend. It's the weekend, yeah. For example, James, Ad Games was going to license Back to the Future and pay less money to just have the DeLorean on there and not Michael J. Fox or Christopher Lloyd. They would have still been in the game. Exactly. And that could just be exactly what we're talking about here. Dude only drinks White Russians. Yeah. I wouldn't think they'd mess it up first one out the gate, but this is the first one out of the gate. They're trying to cut corners. They're trying to be as cheap as possible to maximize their profits. They don't know what to cut. And maybe it wasn't even their decision. Maybe they just they took the list, submitted it to, I don't know, the WWE, whoever the license holder is. I'm assuming it's still the WWE. And then they sent it back and said, cut out these characters. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what we're going to actually get delivered to customers? I wouldn't think they'd. Oh, I'm sorry. Mess it up. My sources aren't Basic Fun's competitors. He's talking to Basic Fun directly, evidently. Paul's the man. Paul's probably talking to distributors. Any plans for next week's show? I got some plans. I got some invites that are going out this week. Going to have a lot of people on. Want to go for maybe 2 hours? That's what he said. Basic Fun changed Sergeant Slaughter's name to Sergeant Sloppy Joe. They can get away with that. Sure. They're just going to pretend like they made the character. USA Night Flight has a retro channel. Maybe they were trying to limit the fun. Let's limit the fun. They're keeping the fun basic. They don't want to complicate it. Fun fact, Sergeant Slaughter is still alive. Yes, he is. He was at a Comic-Con recently. Did RKO 1-Up do a WrestleFest cab? No, they did not. I can't recall seeing one, but I'm also not into pro wrestling either. As far as concepts and prototypes, they did like Double Dragon. They did Track and Field. They did a House of the Dead concept. Well, they did a mock-up that they could present to retailers. I saw that. That was really early on. Back before they had even send in light guns, I think. Because the Counter Kid renders are old and the images I sent Friday are new. Okay, well, I pulled that right from the website, so I don't know what you sent, but that's currently on the website. So tell them in Australia to update their website. Do you guys think that this means that Superstars is also potentially going to be changed since Macho Man and Andre the Giant have licensing issues? Anything's possible. What we saw with think about what they did with NBA Jam for Arcade 1-Up. Those players they were just blacked out. They were just shaded. They had no name. You know, you do what you got to do. You go in there and just alter the code. Barry Sanders didn't want to be a part of the NFL Blitz cabinet. So it is what it is. Hey, Gin Rummy 76. Were you born in 76? I got to know, man. I got to know if I got another bicentennial baby in the chat. Happy birthday, Fox. At Games updated their Facebook page. I was able to log in to all 5 of my HG devices last night. Thank the Lord. I'm so happy you finally got that taken care of, man. I know you've been fighting that for a while. This one's for you, buddy. Cheers. Damn it. Why can't they get their stuff together? I met Sergeant Slaughter last year at a convention. Nice. Jason, it might even been your Facebook post I was looking at. RKO 1-Up did not do WrestleFest. That was my whole point, stupid fat hobbit. If they have the capability to sell it for 2 years and can't renew the license, they aren't going to want to rework the whole game again. The licensing agreements are crazy, but listen, go back to what we know. Go back to what we've seen. When changes have had to, when companies have the license and they have a few holdouts, what do? They just release the game and they just get rid of those players, get rid of those holdouts, cover that up, make that small change. That's what they do. We're going to have any variation of that. If there's any holdouts at all, if there's any weird stuff going on, what would you do as a company? Would you kill yourself to spend way too much money on a couple pieces to the puzzle, or would you just run with the 98% you got? You got to make the call. Everybody's different. Who knows? OMG, my bad types. Hey, we got PD7. What is going on, buddy? Great to see you as always. Dropping a $5 super chat. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much for the happy birthday wishes, man. And I hope you're doing really, really well. A phenomenal YouTuber by any standard. And it's always great to see you. And you know what? Since we're in second pour, why don't we kick it off right and send somebody else to the pit?
Finish him. Melina wins.
I love the conversation. The stuff going on in the chat right now, everybody going back and forth with each other. This is exactly what we've been missing. The lack of releases has led to this, and I'm glad we're getting this now. Legion of Doom are the bosses of this game. Can't wait to see who they change them out for. Probably the effing Bush. Well, listen, a little game called Punch Out went through something very similar with the final boss and the title character of the game. Love the new big guns coming. Not my theme, but still a little peanut butter and jelly that I haven't finished my guns. 5 years and still not progressed much. I can connect you if you need some motivation, if you need some help. This guy is super, just incredible to talk to and message. Great communication. And the guy's an open book. I think he's willing to help out anybody. And maybe he can help you kind of get your project kind of kick-started. Sometimes this stuff happens. Your project sits there idle for a while, and then you need some motivation or inspiration to kind of keep it going. So if you want, you can reach out to the guy, comment on the video, and check it out. Fox, keep in mind next week, Bears versus Cowboys. Well, we know who's going to win that one, don't we? P-Dubs will be crying. He's going to be crying because his team lost, or crying with laughter because he beat me. Which one? Who knows? Are you trying to say that maybe we should skip the 200th episode, or maybe just change the time? It's Sunday. There's no time you can change it to, unless you go early morning, which nobody's going to watch, and nobody wants to wake up early for. And if I want to have P-Dubs on the channel, you think I'm going to be able to get that guy up at 5 a.m. his time to do an 8 a.m. show? No, that's wrong. So we're going to stick to the same time. We're either going to do the show or not do the show. It is what it is. 8 o'clock seems to be the best because I only have one game. There's only one game to compete with. 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I got all those games. I got all kind of craziness stuff's going on. There's one game at night that I have to compete with. So I can either not do shows or do shows. And I'm going to do shows on Sunday. And it's going to be 8 o'clock. And that's the way we're going to roll. And if you can't watch it, guys, that's okay. Catch me on the replay. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a super chat. Give me a super thanks. You can super thanks a video after you've already watched it. After it's already premiered or whatever. The repo man stole the original source code. That son of a... living up to his name. The only way on WrestleFest to take out Legion of Doom is to eliminate the entire tag team gaming option and only release it with the Royal Rumble option. You really think that's what we are getting with the 2-player deck? I don't know. Does 2-player version of the game, does that matter? I haven't played the game a lot. I don't know all the ins and outs of this particular game. Let me know in the comment section, right now in the chat. Is it the 2-player version? Does it not have the tag team version? That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that it still would have that. But is that a limitation? Is that an omission that they think they can get away with because it's only 2 players? I don't know. Everyone will be upset. If James right, everyone will be. If James, who hates everything, is right, we're all going to hate everything. Everyone will hate everything. It's confusing. You see what happens there? James, you wield such power. Remember the responsibility that comes with that power. So Basic Fun does new cabs that haven't been done before as 3/4. Perhaps there are hopes for Qbert and Robotron. I think so. It's a mixed bag. You come out swinging with an IP that a lot of people didn't think they could get. You get a big license. That's a big thing. You know, you could have done that, or you could have gone with something a little more obscure, but arcade classic, arcade accurate, maybe a Qbert, Robotron, whatever. You know, they chose to swing big. And are they doing that to really get we had the same conversation about Arcade 1-Up. Well, they're going to do this, but then they're going to do stuff for us, guys. They're going to do this modern title. They're going to do this Blitz, but they're just doing it so that they can have enough money to bring us what we want. That didn't happen, guys. With very rare exception, we got some very sweet 80s arcade titles. We got a Tron. We got a Dragon Slayer. You know, we got some of these things. But all in all, that wasn't that the math didn't math on that one. Unless they're swapping the final boss is Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Who knows? I don't know if they. I don't know if that. I'm sure they have the ability. I don't know if it warrants that. This type of product, I don't know if they're going to go in there and reprogram something. I think they could easily just change the names and still have the game run exactly how it is, and the characters will look exactly how they looked. They just won't be called that. I don't know, but that kind of begs the question: would that be considered the artist's likeness in the game? That's why their images are not on the side art. They're not on the game. They're not on the actual cabinet. So would their likeness also, would that extend to the actual characters that are animated in the game and also violate the license? Who knows? We don't know, kids. We just don't know. Let me scroll down here a little bit more. Try to get caught up with some of the most current things. Powers or Pain does not have Legends deals. Ain't happy. Everybody's going back and forth. P-Dubs is in here just stirring everybody up. I absolutely love it. Legion of Doom is now called the Mega Powers. That would piss people off. Yeah. Legion of Doom is now the Friends of Doom. Or the Doom Club. Yes. That could work, maybe, perhaps. Maybe the Legion of Doom will be swapped with Mulkey Brothers. Mulkey Brothers? Mulkey Mania? Running Wild. I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about. Powers of Pain is Demolition Road Warriors, is Legion of Doom. Bring back Tron. Bring back Tron. Bring back Tron, but in a XL form factor. No riser. Fruit of the Loom in the game. Hey! Maybe instead of having like spikes, so have fruit. I have no idea. Go K1 up. The thing about all this scuttlebutt is that all of this outrage is going to occur and people are still going to buy it. But Mo, back up. Come on now. Let us not sit on our high horse. This is part of the fun, the speculation, the criticism, the browbeating, the hammering down of the details. But at the end of the day, we all have to decide, is this something we want to purchase? I told you from the very, not you specifically. I told everybody, my audience, these are compromised machines. I've said this I don't know how many times. They're compromised machines. Guys, we're not going to have a one-for-one recreation. We're just not going to get it. No matter who it is. Unico's doing some cool stuff. They ain't doing one-for-one recreations. We're just not going to get that. So what are you going to get? You're going to get some sort of compromised machine. It's going to have compromises on controls, artwork, size, quality, gameplay, all this stuff. You have to honestly look at this. Read it, look at it, be informed so that you can make the best decision. I've been calling this stuff out since RK1UP brought out the Sega Revenge of Death Adder 4-player. And I had all the 4-player RK1UPs lined up, and I talked about this, how we were building. They were building. They were adding features. And then when it came to Sega, you remember you had the NBA Jam that came before the Death Adder, the Sega Revenge of Death Adder cabinet. And we were getting Wi-Fi, and we were getting all this stuff. And then it comes to the Sega cabinet, and we can get in it. There was no Wi-Fi. We didn't get that at all. Like, what the hell? Just lost it. It's gone. Where'd it go? I don't know. And the price was a little bit more. No, actually, it was a lot more. You still, at the end of the day, have to make that decision. Is it worth it? Is it still worth it to you? I don't care what price they stick on this. Is it worth it to you? And the only way you're going to know that is to do your own research, look at this, and make your best assessment. I'm just here to kind of give you my 2 cents and point out some similarities and differences that I see. The natural disasters. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. Powers of Pain isn't Demolition. See, well, there you go. Need RK1UP Star Wars released by Basic Fun. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be Return of the Jedi. Now, that's of the 3 games that were on that Star Wars cabinet that RK1UP released. That was probably my least favorite. It's very much. It's just, I don't know. It's just a simplistic kind of side-scrolling kind of race game. I don't know. It just seems the graphics are obviously better, but it was kind of generic. I played that the least. when I had my live streams, I would have that game on because it showed up better because all the other graphics didn't quite show up as well as the other ones did. Bezel and real estate issue given the counter cage shows Sergeant Slaughter and Legion of Doom. Doubt they tweeted the ROM? Tweaked the ROM? Not sure. Just imported one from Australia. You cheap gets. I see. Fine, MG. No one even knows where you live. You're a rooster illusion. You vanished in the night. You could live in Australia for all we know. We have no idea. We're Americans. If you talk with a weird accent, we don't know where you're from. You could be from anywhere. Tron XL would be great. Yes, 100%. Remove wrestlers is making me Legion of Doom horrible. Tron would be legit until I hear it from them directly versus someone's secret buddy told them. I'm not hitting the panic button. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't take any of this stuff to the bank except the stuff we see listed on a website. Now we have something we can quantify and talk about. And I heard the stuff about the Star Wars cabinet from Big Reese, who heard it from his source, the same guy that was giving him some of the information, the same guy. Make sure nobody can hear me. The same guy that gave him the AVP picture. Remember that? Yeah. So that same guy is saying Star Wars is coming to Australia next month. I'm telling you where I heard it from. But it's still hearsay. But I'm excited. LOL, they'll bring back Tron with a Slim Katie. Yes, and it will be shite. Angel Reese is thick, Fox, and she's like 23. Horrible at basketball, but she's not bad on the eyes. Michael B. and Macho Dubs for the swap. Why not? Why can't we? I think we can make that happen. They replaced the Legion of Doom with the Legion of Doom from the Super Friends. I just want to hear Skeletor's weird voice. He-Man. LOD is now the Brothers of Destruction. Wait, did they take Scuttlebutt out? I don't see him on the artwork. Scuttlebutt, my favorite character. The one I always wanted to hear. Let me scroll down again. I plan to buy it and add Legion of Doom and Sergeant Slaughter to the artwork, even if they aren't in the game soft mod. I'm just going to take a X-Acto knife and cut it out. I'm going to buy artwork from the original cabinet and I'm just going to stick it on the side. And then all my problems will be solved. Not really. Or people could buy one of G.I. Joe's cabs and just make one. Just saying. Undertaker and Kane are the new bosses. Yes, finally. Characters that I know. I got that reference. 100%. Ewoks, you shut your mouth. I can't. I have a show to do. Powers of Pain was Barbarian and Warlock. Return of the Jedi hurt the controls with the view. I always slam by accident. Return of the Jedi is the best. Have you ever been past the first level? Well, yes. I know you go to the Death Star, and I know, yeah, that's fine. See, no, I'm not gonna do it because I know Zaxxon is your favorite game. So you cannot accurately, you can't remove yourself. You cannot remove your bias. You cannot be impartial. Okay, when you say that Return of the Jedi is the best because you love Zaxxon. That's starting to taste good. We may have a problem. MG is in the New Zealand. See? Haha. You're in the New Zealand. And we know how those people are. They're new. They didn't take out the top tiers, so it doesn't matter from a gameplay perspective. Old Zealand? Ah. So as a sort of just like a province off, is that another island? Is that an island's island? Is that like the moon? Does your island orbit New Zealand? That's incredible. I had no idea. Somebody put a double dragon out already. Well, we're going to get one, I think, from Iconic if they can stick the landing. They can get that first one out. Maybe. Yes, I'm saying there's a chance. Has anyone figured out where Parts Unknown actually is? Yes. It's somewhere between South Zealand and North Zealand. South of Death Valley. That's where it is. A $2 super chat from James, who is just mildly annoyed at some things. He doesn't really hate everything. I actually found a few things he quite enjoys. One is giving super chats to this guy, which he will do every single show until my 60th birthday. That is what he said to me in confidence, and I'm telling you now. So if he doesn't do it, hold him to it. $2 says, can you read the marketing in the AU site? I'll do that right now. Absolutely. But before I do that, I got to give you a little bit of shout out, a little bit of something, a little bit of love. And here you go.
Can't you do any better? This is the
We are going to get into the technicalities because that's what my brother from another mother, James, is all about. And I think it is prudent to do so. I played Zaxxon when my brother was in the hospital as a kid. Stop it. Stop. These heartstrings shall not be played by your nostalgia fingers. Even though I want to cry. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this right now, guys. Let's get into it. Let's explore the options. Let's talk about the marketing. And let's just get into it. Let's just do this right now. And you know what? I'm going to have to delay. Guys, members, hold on tight. Give me another 10 minutes. We'll do the show probably about 9:45 Eastern Standard. Give me just a second. The members are very important. But for now, let's go ahead and stick with the second pour. Got to give you your money's worth. And I don't have to work tomorrow. So third pour, absolutely. Coming in the members only live stream. Join now. It's so much fun. James is there. He knows about all the good times. All right. Let's share my screen. Let's just break it on down, son. Break it on down. Here is the site, the arcadegamer.com.au. Bring it up. Here it is. Not a friend of a friend, but here is the actual website. So what do you want me to read, guys? What do you want me to read? The description. It's generic. Okay, so tag in the ultimate showdown with the arcade. WWE Ultra Series arcade game featuring 5 action-packed titles in one deluxe cabinet built for head-to-head action battles. Arcade, not action. Arcade battles. Relive the glory days of pixelated wrestlers with WrestleFest and Superstars, where you can suplex your way to victory as legends like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and The Undertaker step into the ring with the big pro wrestling. For wild? Okay. Over the top grappling action, the dodge, dive. Is this dodgeball? The D's? John Fritz has joined 19K Fox Nation. He is the man, no longer on the Fritz. His connection is stable. The oversized 17-inch monitor. I don't think you want me to read this part. The Arcade Classics, Battle, WrestleFest, Superstars, the Big Pro Wrestling, Super Dodgeball, and the Acrobatic Dogfight, all in one powerhouse. Side art is a deal breaker at MG. Michael B is saying in the chat. Yeah, adjustable volume. Something we didn't know. Yeah, there we are. Arcades. Tell me, James, since you gave me the super chat, what do you want me to read exactly? What would you like me to highlight specifically? We're doing this live. $5 after show. I better see some skin. Absolutely. You'll see skin and you'll see things that you'll have trouble not unseeing. Not unseeing? Sure. Can you read Fox in socks? Only if I'm wearing Crocs. Michael B it's all your fault. This is all your fault. Damn Canadians. I agree. Canada is always the problem. Well, Mo, there is a chance they changed or removed the characters, but then them missing from the side art is not 100% proof, just speculation. There is an off chance that this was done. Let me stop sharing that for now. James, let me know what you want me to read or highlight specifically. There's an off chance, guys. If we bring this up again, there is just the off chance. I don't know. And to be fair, yes, it is speculation, but facts are facts. You got 3 guys missing. But maybe it is just a size thing. Maybe they didn't have the width to put all 12 characters on, so they just went with 9. I mean, if we're speculating, we cannot definitively say that wasn't the reason why those particular wrestlers were omitted at this time. Even if you go back and you look at, let me bring this up again. If you look at this, Sergeant Slaughter's down here by the control panel. So they're not in the same place. They just got these 9 up here. I mean, Legion of Doom is in the same spot, but you got Sergeant Slaughter down here. So it's possible this is just some sort of for scale, some sort of just getting all the figures in place, perhaps. Basic Fun caused on heck if a ruckus with the a bit of a ruckus for sure, but the side art is key. Side art can tell you a lot. Ask Michael B about the old NFL Blitz side art. There's some that was the first indication that something was awry, something was amiss, and sure enough, it was. We didn't get all the features that were in the original game, and then they had characters missing. And it also it gives you a little bit of a peek inside the mind of the people making the decisions. If you have somebody fighting like hell to recreate the side art as good as you interrupt my live stream and you can't be bothered because you're posting the gall on this guy. Really? But it gives you some insight into the person making the decisions. If they radically change the side art, if they decide to make a pixelated version of Troy Aikman on the side, while I like Troy Aikman, why'd you do that? You're making an arcade cabinet. Why didn't you make an accurate recreation? It's because maybe their head isn't exactly focused on arcade recreation, but more of an interpretation. And if that's the case, interpretations lend themselves to changes, alterations, adaptations that could be detrimental, could ruin the experience. Think about the guy who just loves Sergeant Slaughter and he can't wait to play this game, and he goes to select his favorite character and that guy is not there, or he's named Sergeant Sloppy Joe or Private Slaughter. How disappointed will that man be? It's very sad. It's very sad, and I hate to know that that's going on in my America. Fox, my local Walmart, is giving out free arcades to anyone that can outrun their security. It's amazing how that happens. Run, fella, run. I try. I do my best. Blitz removed the pixelated Packer player from the side art, and he didn't make the game. So there's that. That's true. Very true. Golf room? No Legion of Doom allowed. Oh, that's very sad. Firing up the quest now. Okay, guys, real quick. LOL, fine. You're not going to tell me what you want me to read. That's okay. But for everybody who is curious, I'm going to leave the link in the video description. You can go back. You can click on that. You can go to the link yourself. You can read as much as you want. Bring up different things for topics, discussions, and yeah, you can absolutely continue the conversation, because this is not where the conversation ends. It's sort of where the conversation begins. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Once again, it is that time to wrap it up. Episode 199 is going to be in the can. That means next show is going to be episode 200. I want it to be a banger. It's been forever. It's taken me forever to get to 200 episodes. You've been here every step of the way. I really appreciate all of you so very much. It's nice to have a drink and talk about arcades with friends. But before we go, we got to talk about that poll question. Over in the chat, I had a question. I posed this to you. Here was the simple question. 2 responses. What were they? Here's the question first, then I'll tell you the responses. That's how this works. Do you want the basic Fun Ultra, or are you waiting for the Supreme? Like I said, you had 2 options. I also let you know that the Ultra was going to be at 500 and the Supreme was going to be at 600. For the topic of discussion, I don't know. I didn't hear that from anybody. I don't have a super secret friend. I actually don't have any friends, especially ones that will acknowledge my existence. It's very sad. It's very sad. Very sad. Okay, so basically, here's where we're at. Pretty lopsided. Kind of, it's the decision I thought we would get, but not necessarily the percentage. Number one, who won? With 79%, 80% of the vote, it was Supreme for $600. Everybody's willing to wait for the better version for only $100 more. Now, is that what we can expect from Basic Fun? Like everything tonight, that is still up for speculation. We don't really know. But who knows, guys? Who knows? Let me just let's play it. Yeah. Play you out. I'll play you. Is it Night Driving? Is that a good one? How about Rock? How about Intro Space? Dance Pop? Acoustic Ceramic or Ceramic? Cinematic. Who knows? It's all up for debate. It's all up for discussion. And like I said before, guys, that is at least 35% of the fun that we're having right now. I'd love to have stuff coming out. I'd love to talk about it. And I can't wait to talk about it with you once again next week. Members, stay right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to the members only after show. We're going to talk about everything, and I'm going to have a third drink. Everybody else, have a great week. Thank you for making me a very happy guy, wishing me happy birthdays. Believe it or not, it really is. It makes the day just a little bit more special, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel, and I'll see all of you right back here